I am Bhushan Kundeti, Associate Professor in the Department of EC and Controller of Examinations at Marri Laxman Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I'll be discussing about the Java OOPS concepts. So before that, we'll just have a glance of what is Java. So as we have already seen the introduction to Java, so Java is a high level general purpose class based object oriented programming language. Already we have seen in the last class. So Java was it was invented by James Gosling at Sun Microsystems in the year 1995, but the origin was started in 1991, but it came into existence in 1995. Almost it took 5 years of time to make the Java global. So it is platform independent. What do you mean by platform independent? Any IDE tool can be used in order to write the Java programming. So write once, run anywhere, which is called as VORA. So this is the beauty of the main advantage of Java, platform independent. So coming to the applications of Java, so most of the applications come under desktop applications, which has the graphical user interfaces, the media players, etc. And coming to web applications part, we'll be using at server-side applications using Java Enterprise Edition. So double E is called as Enterprise Edition. So this is where we use the Java in the website applications. And coming to mobile applications, it's completely used in the Android development. And coming to the enterprise applications, it is very much used for the large scale systems for the business purposes. So getting into detail about the applications part. So basically the applications are classified into three types. One is the console based applications, the standalone or the desktop applications, and web based applications. So let us see the console based applications. A console based application is a computer program which is designed to use with the help of the command line interface. So just the basic is that without having any tool, the IDE tool, basically we can take a notepad or a edit plus that there we write the programming, and directly from the command prompt we can try to compile and execute the program. That is the basic thing that we can do for Java purposes. And a user typically interacts with the console applications using only the keyboard and the display screen. That is one of the beauty, which is opposed to the GUI applications. So which normally require the use of the mouse or other pointing devices, the other parts. So if you look at even the speed and the ease of using GUI applications has improved over the time, and the use of applications have been diminished but not appeared. This is all about the console based applications. Coming to the standalone desktop applications, an application that can only be executed in the local systems with a local call is called as standalone desktop application. So this can be executed independently. We do not need to depend on some other this thing. Even we don't require any server side applications or web server in order to execute all these applications, whatever the programmings we do. So the best example is the calculator. So if it took, let us take the calculator, it is an independent application where instantaneously we try to just find out or determine what we need. So that's about the standalone desktop applications. Coming to the web-based applications. So web in the sense the internet, the based applications requires we need to browse the data. Okay, so compulsory we need certain browsers like Windows or Internet Explorer, Opera or something like that. Compulsory we require some browser support and even an application server for their execution part. So web-based application refers to any program that is accessed over a network of HTTP. So if we look at any website, so that we take, so compulsory it will take the initial as HTTP, which is called as Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So without that we can't try to browse any kind of a stuff at all. So these are usually based on the client server architecture. So basically it is a client and the mode server based mode, that is the mode web-type. So now let us check or look what do you mean by a bytecode in Java. So bytecode is nothing but an intermediate code that is generated once after the Java source code is compiled with the Java. So whatever the program that we write in the notepad, okay, that we call it as a Java source code. That is a basic source code. Now that will be given to the compiler, and the compiler compiles the program, and it is indicated as the Java C, and it is stored as, and it is stored as dot class, and we need to even remind that the name of the file must be same as the class name in the Java, which is very important. So between the source code is saved as .java, and after compilation the file will be saved as .java. See, and between these both source code and Java compiler, whatever the bytecode that is it, that's called as the bytecode, so which is called as dot class file. So what is a bytecode in Java? So bytecode is a platform independent. It's a platform independent. It is a machine readable, and it's an intermediate code. That's about the bytecode. It is not directly executed by the operating system or the hardware. Instead, it is run on the Java virtual machine, which translates the bytecode into the machine code. So clearly it says that it mainly depends on the Java virtual machine, which converts the source code, whatever that is there, into the machine understanding language, which is zeros and ones. So next, if you look at the broad perspective of the flow of the hierarchy of what exactly how the source code and how it is compiled and how the Java virtual machine runs, there's a simple flow chart here. So Java is architecture neutral. Okay, so first, whatever the instructions that we write, that is saved as a Java code, that's called as a Java code that we write. Like for example, the basic example is class name. Then we try to write the public static void main some string option. Then we try to perform some set of instructions. This is the basic Java code that we have. Now this Java code, after it is written, the code is written, now that's given to the compiler. So the job of the compiler does the simple process of compilation. It compiles each and every step. If there are any errors and everything, it tries to everything. Then after compilation, now it is converted as bytecode, means the file is saved as dot class. So earlier the source code was saved as dot Java. Now the file after compilation, it is saved as dot class. Now this bytecode, which is nothing but the dot class, and the class name is name as the same as the file name. That is very important to be noted here. Whatever the file that is being saved, it has to be same that of the class name, which is very important. Now this bytecode is given to different runs on the different platforms such as Windows platform, Linux platform, Mac, and those all runs on Java virtual machines, JVM. Now, this is how a basic Java program is being executed, which is the basic flow. Now, as we said just now, Java is platform independent, which means write once, run anywhere. In any platform, we can able to run. Okay, so I try to write my program, which is .java, and is given to the compilation time, and then it is converted into the bytecode, which is nothing but to dot class files. Then it is given to the Java virtual machine. Then it is given to the computer, which is also that. Now, as we have a lot of programming languages, C, C++, Pascal, everything. But why Java is important compared to the other programming languages? So as we all see that Java is an object-oriented program. Everything we try to define in terms of object. That is very important. Whereas C is not object-oriented program. So basically there are two reasons. One is that with C language, they are not portable. So there is some trouble, some problem in C and C++ language. Whereas we are also aware that C++ is also object-oriented programming language. So both C++ as well as Java, they both comes under object and oriented programming type. Okay, but they are not platform independent. That is one of the reason why C have troubles. Okay, so coming to the other part, the emergence of the World Wide Web WWW, which demanded portable lot of programs that we do. So in the front end, whatever the stuff that we try to do, the back end, it's completely about the programming. The front screen that we see, it is based on the complete programming. But the other important thing is that it's Java is portable and very secure. Now, this was the two reasons why Java came into the existence. The invention of Java, only because of these two reasons. Now let us look at the structure of the Java program. What has to be the complete body of the Java programming. In the Java program, what we need to have everything. So first of all, as I told you, basically, if we take a notepad, there are different IDE tools are there. Is all we can. Visual Studio is there. So when there are many basically IDE tools where you try to write all the Java program. So in that, so one such kind of a part is called as documentation. So it clearly tells about the complete explanation part, and they are not at all executed by the Java. So simply they are written with the two dot lines and with two slash lines. So it's completely it is only for reading purpose only. It is only for explanation purpose only, not to execute part. It will not come under the execute part. So the documentation is defined in the Java with two double quotes. So we'll start with the two double slash lines and end with also two double slash lines. So next is the declaration of the package. For any Java program, we should find out the objects that are being used comes under which package category. So there are different packages such as util package is there, IO packages is there, some different varieties of packages are there. So we should initially declare the type of the package where the object contains. That is very, very important. So this package tries to organize the classes into namespaces, making larger projects easier into the manage. That's about the importing the package. Next, we try to write the statements that are there. So import statements. So all the statements comes under the method. In the method, we try to write the bulk of statements that we try to use for that logic purpose. So import statements allows the use of the classes from other packages without needing to specify the full name every time. So the other beauty of the Java is that every time we need not try to write what is the package that we already. We can import that package also, which is very one is important feature of Java. That and next is as we already said that Java is an instance, object is an instance of a class. Every object has a class compulsory. So we should try to declare, we have to declare the class of that particular object. So that's called as class declaration. Every Java application must have at least one class. So without class, there is no meaning of an object. It is not used at all if you don't have any class at all. So one class can have multiple objects, but minimum for an object should have a class. Okay. So the class name must match the file. This is one of the important point to be noted here. Whatever the file we try to save it has to be same as the class name. It has to be same as the class name. Then after declaring the class, we should write the methods. One such kind of default method is the main method. We can even have our own methods also in order to call some particular functions and everything. Basically in C, we call it as a functions. In Java, we call it as a methods. Both are one and the same. So the starting point of the Java virtual machine, in order to execute the program, it starts at method name only. It's always public static void. So in the short form, we can just remind it as PSVM, public static void and main, and we will be writing the parentheses as a string parenthesis. So then in the method, we will be writing the statements and the method. Those are the actual logic of this is where the actual logic lies, in the statement and the methods only. Example, if I want to say hello world, so that we have statement we should write in that particular method in the console. So we'll be seeing the detailed structure of the program. What are the different ways of writing it in the Java program? We'll see now. So the first one is the comments. Okay. So this comment basically will tell you about the code part. It will explain the code part, but the compiler doesn't take that into the counter as it is indicated with a double line. As I've said just now, any line if you want to comment, simply we use double backline. It is a single line comment. But if you have a multi-line comment, then it is backslash with an hashtag, and it has to end with hashtag and back. But if complete file, if you want to make it as comment, then it will treat as a document part, then backslash with double hashtag, and end slash with one dot. This is how the syntax, if you want to comment any particular line or compile to multiple lines or the complete document, this is how we can able to write the syntaxes part. The next is basically how we declare the package. So simplifies the package to which the class belongs to. This is how we can write, and even we can able to write like import package java.util. So in this way also we can write. So but here we have one example, like the package is of com.example.my application. This is also can see. Now after that, the next part is like import the statement. So how do we import the statements, which is an optional case. So import other Java classes or entry library, that can also be done. So that can be done with a simple scanner part. So import java.util.scan. With the help of these, we can able to import the different classes and libraries into this. Next, declaring a class. How do we declare a class? Class name. So this class name is that even we can able to write is camel case. What do you mean by camel case? What camel case means? So the first letter will be small. For example, like if I say Bhushan, Kundeti, so Bhushan, then it will be capital K, Undeti. This is an example which comes under camel case. So you can even use the camel case in order to know that it is of a class name. That's, and the remaining everything in the parentheses, that's called as the class body. Then after declaring the class, we should write the method. So that's called as the main method. So entry point of any Java application starts from main method itself. The Java JVM calls the main method to start the program. Directly it will start the program from the main method. So how do we write the syntax of it? Public static void main. This is the name of the method. The default method name is main. String has, and whatever the logics that we write, the code to be executed, the logic part will be writing in the method itself. This is about and coming to the Java OOPS concepts. Basically, there are 4 types. One is abstraction, the polymorphism, then inheritance, then encapsulation. These are the 4 Java concepts. Java OOPS concepts. So this can be easily remembered as we know IKEA. Oh, I call it as IPA. Okay, so the OOPS concepts in Java are 4 types. One is called as inheritance. P stands for polymorphism. E stands for encapsulation, and A stands for the abstraction. So these are the 4 OOPS concepts that we'll be looking at, and the detailed explanation of these OOPS concepts we'll be seeing in the next class. Thank you very much.